Okay, it is about 7:08 p.m. and today is Wednesday, February the 9th, 2020. And welcome to Open House, week number one of Introduction to Criminal Law. And I'm Professor Richard Wright, and I will be with you for the next 5.5 weeks. I always like to see students that I had in other classes that did pretty well. So it's good to see Denise with two S's. And so good to see you guys again. Yep, hello again is right. What I'm going to do is in a few minutes, I'm going to um, actually open up your mics and let you each say something. Uh, Take a few minutes. I'm kind of laughing because sure say uh, you actually was anxious to get to the lecture because you you started early. I saw your name in at about 1 o'clock this afternoon, I think, or something like that. Um, I started wondering. I said, "Wait, did I put the wrong time in?" But no, I you just wanted to get a jump start. I always have students when the course first starts that jump in. Actually, it was 2:59 p.m. CST. Uh, it's a little early, but what it does is it sends a message to me telling me someone's in my room. And it's like you arrive early for a lecture in where you have on campus, and a message is sent to me saying somebody's in your classroom waiting for you. And I said, well, they can be there a while. They can take a nap because I won't be on until 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. But today is different from all the rest of the weeks that we have. This is the introduction to what my expectations are. But first of all, I'm going to give you guys a chance to introduce yourselves, and I'm going to go alphabetically with the first name. So guess who's first? And you can actually, I'm going to unmute you, and let's see, you okay? Unmute. You unmute it now, and then you can put your camera back on. Okay. Okay. God, you look like Karen. You don't know Karen. Karen was my cousin. She. I know you're not Karen because Karen's passed away. But you, when I looked at you, I said, "Oh my gosh, she looks like Karen." So anyway, welcome to class, Chersey, and tell me a little bit about yourself, what you hope to gain, what your goals are.
Okay, hello, Instructor Wright.
Thank
First, let's start with you pronounce my name, Sharice.
you. Is it Charisse?
Yes,
Okay, that's why I asked it. I said right. I sure say, but that's that's the way that it looks.
I
It's
know,
fun.
I know, but it's Sharice.
Okay, all right. It's funny because I do radio. I've done
Hmm.
radio and still do it now, and I've done television. And we always say, "How do you pronounce this person's name?" So anyway, so Charisse. Okay, all right. This is a everybody calls you Chersey though, don't they? When they first meet you, don't they? No,
Most of them don't get it right the first time.
that's what
You
I'm
know
talking
what? I've
about. Okay.
never met anyone else that spells it quite like that. It's either
Yes.
ISSE or SSHER. So yeah, but it's Sharice. Um,
Okay.
so hello everybody. What did you advise me to do? Introduce myself.
Introduce yourself. You did. You told me you corrected me first on your name, which is okay. Matter of fact, it's good to correct me on a lot of stuff. I um, will sometimes hit the wrong button, and I don't think you can see stuff. Then students have to tell me, "Hey, you didn't share your screen," that kind of stuff. So, but anyway, okay, Charisse, it's nice to. I got a family member, but hers is Charrise. That's how she writes hers. So, tell me about yourself.
Well, let's see. I've never had the opportunity to attend college, first of all. And I've been wanting to go down this journey for quite some time, but I've been raising kids, being a wife, a mother, a sister, blah, 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 blah. But I've been, for the last 2.5 years, I work for Brinks. So I've had the opportunity to have a little intel when it comes to law enforcement,
You
even
said
though,
Brinks?
yes,
Oh yeah, picking up the money with the guns.
yes, yes, yes. So what I did was actually just aligned myself, and I said, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and dive in it. I'm 59 years old. I have this opportunity. I'm grateful, and I'm just gonna fly with it. I'm happy to be here.
What do you want to do?
Well, I'm too old to be an officer, of course, but either probation, something to that nature. Yeah.
I have students who reach that, and I understand what you mean when you say you're too old. It's because not because you're too old, but re the age requirements have passed you by. I know the deal, so I got you. I
Bye.
got you. But that's good. I have a lot of students who are in my classes, and so okay. Let's see. Somebody said that they had to log out and log back in. Okay, that's okay, Kimberly. I guess she'll do that. But anyway, yeah, and technology. See, you came about you, so that meant you were born in the 80s, right?
62.
62. Oh, you were born in 62.
Yes.
Oh, dang, I forget about that. I was 12 then. I'm 71. A lot of people don't believe. They say, "Oh, you don't look that old." I says, "Trust me, these aches and pains with this body."
Hmm.
I'm going through PT now for my back and under. They said, "What kind of injury did you have?" I said, "Age."
Exactly.
But no pain, no gain. But yeah, I got you there. Uh, it doesn't matter when you start. And I have a daughter, and my oldest daughter is 52 now, and she decided not to go back to school until she got married, had some kids, and I tried to get her to go to college right after high school. She didn't. I said, no problem. So it didn't cost me anything. But now she's a clinical psychologist at Cook County Jail. What area are you in? What part of the country are you in?
I'm in Elgin, Illinois.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I have a guy that's in physical therapy with me, and he's a teacher up in Elgin. And I have a cousin that lives up in Elgin there. Yeah, I used to have to go out there a lot. Matter of fact, I when I was practicing law, I had some engagement with the mental health facility out there,
Okay.
and had to do some stuff out there. So, but yeah, Elgin, yeah, I know Elgin, South Elgin.
Mhm.
That's I'm in Plainfield. So you're in the other. Are you from that area originally?
Originally from Chicago. Uh,
Oh, okay. I was gonna say nobody's from Elgin that I know. They're from somewhere else. We're in Chicago, south, north, west,
South, East Side.
east side, southeast side.
Yes.
Okay, that means you give me what, South Shore in that area.
Yes, sir.
Anytime somebody says east side, they got to be South Shore because there is no east side before you get where that curve comes. By
That's,
Jackson Park. And
that's right.
yeah, what high school did you go to?
Calumet High School.
Timberlake. People don't know what that means. It's Calumet spelled backwards. Yeah, Chaka Khan.
That's right. That's
Shaka Yvette was her name, but
it.
Shaka
That's right.
went there, and then my I got a cousin. She went there, and she's pretty close to my age. Sharon Smith was her name. She went there. As a matter of fact, wow, you lived in South Shore area, and you went to Calumet.
Well,
That's over by May Street.
we were living further south when I went to high school. We were
Oh, okay,
grew up. I grew up on the
okay,
east side.
okay. I live south. I lived in an area called Maple Park. You ever heard of it? Morgan
Yes,
Park.
yes.
Yeah, I went to. Matter of fact, I went to the school that is built exactly like your school,
What school is that? Maple.
Finger
Say it again.
Finger High School.
Oh,
It's
yes.
the exact same building. It is. That was one of the things I learned in a long time ago. But yeah, I had some. Matter of fact, officer, you might know this name. His last name was Dangerfield.
I
He was the
know.
school police officer, Titus Dangerfield. He
I
was he was my neighbor and went to church with me in Maple Park. And he was, the when you had officers in school, you
mm-hmm.
know. So now you have to have officers in school, but they have to wear armor and stuff. It was different when we were in high school.
Yes, it was.
But Calumet is, I think Calumet's closed now. I think, isn't it? It's a
Yes.
it's a charter school, I think, or some other name. It's a lot of stuff changed there. Well, yeah, I think uh, what are the Indians? Is that what they were called? The
Yes.
sports teams? Yeah. Now it wouldn't be appropriate to call them the Indians because all that
Mhm.
stuff changed. But
Yeah.
yeah, but as soon as everybody says Calumet, I immediately say Timmy, like in the eyes, says he knows something, doesn't he? But yeah, I went to Dixon for a while. You know Dixon, 83rd and St. Lawrence. It's a grammar school, and that was the feeder school to Calumet, and a lot of my good friends went to Calumet that left and went to other schools back when I graduated. Um, as they say, when before the internet and all that kind of stuff. So you were before the internet and all of that. So, but anyway, well, welcome to class. I do have students who have gone through and became probation officers
Mhm.
and parole officers who are. Matter of fact, I had one in my last one of my last classes that said they were older and that was something that they wanted to do. I don't remember which one it was. But anyway, welcome to class. I am somebody who um, I believe in everything that I say, and I'm as my kids. I have 8 of them, and don't feel bad for me. On my picture, if you look in the lounge, you'll see only 4 of them, but my older 4, they range from 52 to 13. And people say, 71, you got a 13-year-old? I said, yeah, my wife was born in 64. So, yeah, so everybody says, well, you robbed the cradle.
No, you're blessed.
I am, but funny story, and then I'll get to everybody else. This is really funny. Um, when we first got married and we were having our first son, we were sitting down talking and we were expecting, and we started talking about schools. And I said, oh, I went to Roosevelt and that I did career days. She went to a school that you might know at that time. It was called Bryn Mawr, but now it's called Boucher. It's on Jeffrey, right near 71st Street.
Yes.
And so she went there. Michelle Obama actually was 2 years behind her, right there at that school with her. She didn't know her then because she was Michelle Robinson. But at any rate, what I was going to tell you is that I did career day and I went speaking there. Well, she found out because I was going through my yearbook and showing her some pictures. She said, wait, that's my teacher. She said, that's the guy. She said, I wonder about that guy dressed in that turtleneck. He said he was going to become a lawyer one of these days, and that he did. I said, well, that's me, dear. And she said, oh my God. So she was 14, and I was wait a minute, was she? Yeah, she was 14. And well, let's see, now I wasn't 28 then, so she wasn't 14 then.
No.
Anyway, I was 14 years older than her, and I was getting ready to graduate from Roosevelt in 74, 75. So, but anyway, she was a kid. It was a grammar school. So, years later, we would end up marrying. So people ask me, when did you first meet your wife? I said, well, first time I really met her was in the two, 2000 and, no, 1994 or something like that, 93. But she saw me when she was a kid. What? So I said, "You're a pedophile." I said, "I'm not a pedophile." So I so, but anyway, that's a funny story. So um, she calls herself an old lady. I says, "You are not an old lady, even though you have issues too." But all right, so that's it. Let's go to. So you can turn your camera off,
Okay.
and I'll mute your mic. Denise, you're up. Denise, let me unlock you. Okay. You there, Denise?
Yes, I'm here.
You got your camera?
I am trying to turn it on.
Okay. You're probably going to be able to, when you turn it on, you won't be able to turn it off. Uh, you got it?
I think so.
I don't see it. You hit video and then
Okay.
start
Oh, there
video.
we go.
There you go. All right. So this is the first time I'm seeing you now, right?
Yeah.
Because you didn't come to the first lecture. In what class were you? Which one were you? You were
I was actually in your past two classes.
you were in not you were in the
Corrections.
introduction to corrections. Were you in
Uh-huh.
contemporary issues in criminal justice? You weren't in that one because that's when you graduate.
No, that's a later one, but there was another one.
Drugs
I
and
can't think
crime.
of it. Yes, drugs and crime.
Okay, which I'm teaching this time too, as well. So yeah, that was an interesting class, wasn't it? The drugs and
Yes, it
crime.
was.
It made you
A lot
cry.
of
It
information.
made you cry though too when you saw some of those
The
videos and
videos,
things,
yes.
stuff like that. So anyway, welcome to class. Everyone, this is Denise, who I've come to know. Let me tell you guys, what I do is I get to know my class. I do. I get to know people, and I have a photographic memory, and I can remember. And she'll tell you. I'm going to tell a lot of stories. I try not to make it too boring, uh, and um, and so anyway, Denise, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little about yourself, where you're from, and stuff like that. What you plan on accomplishing, and why you want to be back in my class again because I'm tough. No, I'm kidding. You know
Well, I'm back because it's a requirement.
that.
I do
Oh
enjoy the
man,
stories,
I'm
though.
gonna cry because you just came back because you says, I
I came back for
gotta.
the stories. That's what I came
Oh,
back for.
okay. All right. Well, uh, again, it's always good to see former students who did well. So, but if you weren't doing well, I wouldn't say anything. I'd just say it was nice to see you, Denise, and cut it short from there. But so go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, my name's Denise. I am 29 and I live in Hanover Park, which is not that far from where you're from.
Yeah,
Um,
I got friends and family that live in Hanover Park right now, up by North Avenue in that area there, west
yeah,
near
it's
Schmally.
more like borderline Carroll Stream and Hanover Park,
So you
where
know
I'm from.
Schmally or Schmale, you know that yeah,
Schmally.
Smiley, yeah, where the post office is down there, up there.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
hmm
Go ahead.
Um, I actually came back to school. I went to school after high school, didn't work out. So I started working full time. And I recently just got back to school since July. So it's been a while since I was back in college. And I actually went back in for to become a criminal investigator. Right now, I am a infant teacher at a daycare, so it is a huge 180 right there.
Yeah, what do you know
But
about you know about the 180s? Remember I talked about that in drugs and crime?
mhm.
The 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock?
Yep, and you brought
Okay.
it up with the last one too.
Yeah, I always talk about, well, it fit in that class too. Yeah, for
Mhm.
corrections. Yeah. But go ahead.
Um, and yeah, I came back for the stories, for your stories.
Okay, I feel better. One of the things about my job, I've been with Rasmussen 11 years, going on 12 this year, and they keep me on because they say you tell good stories. No, they keep me on because, as you know, I've been a police officer for 4 years. I was an investigator. I was a paralegal. I was a defense attorney
Mm.
for many, many years. And then I was a prosecutor for a little time, but that was more like local prosecution. I would prosecute people for not cutting their grass right, or not getting their garbage cans taken care of right, and those kind of what they call village violations. And so, but yeah, so I worked with probation officers, parole officers, correction officers. I've had a number of students who worked at Illinois Department of Corrections, one that went real high up, all the way to the top major for a while, and then she's doing something in drugs for them. And so I've been around a little bit, and I have a lot of, I like to break up the monotony of the material with not only just giving you stories, but giving you real life experiences because you can relate to it. And so welcome. So are you from originally up there in Hanover Park, or are you from somewhere else like Sharice and moved there?
I was actually born downtown Chicago, but I was raised in Cicero. So we moved to Hanover. I want to say I was about 7 years old, 6 years old when we
Was that
moved here.
was that you the one that told me that you lived in that loft area down there by Roosevelt University? Was that you?
Mm,
No,
no, that
somebody
wasn't me.
one in the class. Where in you said you were born in you lived in downtown Chicago, you said?
No, I was born downtown Chicago and
Oh,
I lived in
okay.
Cicero.
Where you what where were you born in Chicago, downtown Chicago at a
I
hospital?
know. To be honest, I have no idea which hospital because there's so many downtown.
Well, downtown Chicago, there's, well,
I
if you
think there's
count,
Northwestern and then
well,
there's
of course there's
another
Northwestern.
one.
See this shirt here? You can't really see it. I got too high. But yeah, you'll learn Northwestern. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's where my baby girl was born, Northwestern, right there on Chicago Avenue, just down the road from the law school.
Mhm.
But that's one, and then you had University of Illinois, which is uh, nearby as well, where UIC is, and then you had Rush Hospital over in that area there. But everybody calls it downtown. But uh, when I think of downtown, I think of where the courthouse, Daily Center, and all that stuff is. Like I said, there's no hospitals there. But I know what you meant when you now
Uh-huh.
since you say that, and I appreciate that. Excuse me. So Cicero, yeah, Morton West.
I don't remember which schools because I went
But
to preschool.
Morton West is the high school out there
I believe so,
that's
yes.
on
Because I
Harlem.
actually am I actually take care of a baby from a teacher that actually goes to that high school, so and
Yeah,
she tells me a lot about her students.
yeah, I know. I got a lot of former students, friends, and some family members because I started out as a little boy on the west side of Chicago, long time ago, before there was when there was black and white TV and stuff like that. So, okay. Well, you have children, did you say?
Yes, I do. I have an 8-year-old son and I have a 5-year-old daughter.
Oh, okay. You got a dog or a cat or birds or
Ooh,
snakes?
years ago, I used to have a dog, but no. My kids want
Okay.
one, but we're like, "We can't afford one right now."
Yeah, I hear you. Trust me, they're expensive.
Oh, yes, they are.
I got a golden doodle. You know what that is?
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
seen
He'll probably make an appearance before the week's out because my daughter, um, that's her dog. Milky Way is his name.
them.
He loves he'll come to class, and then you'll have a chance. to see him. In fact, I love dogs. We couldn't get a dog for a long time because I had to finally be in a house where I owned it. I own one, but then that was before we got him. So here he is.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see him?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
that's
big.
my baby girl. Yeah, he is. But he's only a year and, and a month old, so he's a few months. Here he is. That's Milky Way behind the couch that's behind me here. Yeah, he's a big baby. He runs like a horse, you know. So
I'm sure with those legs.
yeah, he doesn't he gallops. So, but anyway, well, welcome to class again, and nice to see you. Uh,
Thank you. Nice to see
so
you.
you can turn off your camera, and I will close your mic. All right, and then we have now I see a new name.
Sade.
Okay, she said Sade. Is it Sade? Could you okay, I'm gonna let me open up your mic. Take your mic. Okay, your mic's all open. Now, is it Sade?
Yes, it's Sade.
But is that how you spell it? Or is it like
Yes.
Sadie, like Sadie? You know when I say Sadie what I'm talking about?
The singer.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. I love her. I I used to get into a lot of trouble with her songs when I was in my single and dating days.
Oh
Uh,
my.
yeah, I love her music. I it's very serene, but yeah, it's Sade. There's no H, but it's Sadie. That's what people think. So now, how do you spell your name?
Shyda.
Oh, just like you have it there. Okay. Okay, very good. So, all right. So, welcome to class. Tell me a little bit about yourself, and we can get going then after that with some stuff I'm gonna tell you about this course.
Okay. I'm from Rockford, Illinois.
The home of the Rockford campus, which is in the Chase Bank building.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I used to travel out there. That's the uttermost parts of the world for me. But I live in Plainfield, so I go down 80 to 39 and take 39 north to right to get there, to Rockford. I avoid coming through uh, Schaumburg and all of that, and because it's really that's a long drive heading west, because and stuff like that. But okay, so Rockford. Okay, go ahead.
I graduated from high school in 2005. I took a very long time off to get back in school. I currently have two kids. I have two boys, a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old. We don't have any pets currently. They do also want a dog.
Yeah, I know that one. Yeah, and so what kind of work are you doing now?
Right now I'm a hairstylist.
Oh, okay. All right. My wife spends quite a bit of my money. All right, I'll stand corrected. She's not right here, but if she was here, she'd say, "Your money. Remember, your money is my money." I said, "Yeah, I know. I'm the working person in the household, but she
Oh,
she's she's always she likes to get her hair done. And if you look at my profile, you can see her, but I'll put her up right here. That's her.
she's beautiful.
Yeah, that's the one I said. That was the one I snatched. Oh, you weren't here earlier when I talked about that. She's 14 years younger than me, but we've been married 27, going on 28 years. That's my buddy, my partner in crime, and so that is good. So what do you wanna do? What's your desire to
Looking
accomplish?
to be a probation officer. That's something I've wanted to do for a very long time.
Okay. I'm going to ask you because I know um, Sharice had said it. How old are you?
I'm currently 35.
Oh, okay. So you're at the border of being for law enforcement and all of that kind of stuff there. But yeah,
Yes.
probation officer, parole officer. I had, and I talked about that. Denise uh, is familiar with me talking about that. I talked about that in the Introduction to Corrections class, which I encourage you to take. Uh, Drugs and crime, I teach that too. And a lot of times students take both of these, Introduction to Criminal Law and Drugs and Crime. So, but anyway, okay, um, I can help you in heading in that direction. Uh,
Thank
Anything else?
you. No, not at
Are you
this.
are you originally from Rockford or you moved there?
Yes, I've been here my whole life.
Ah,
Never
okay. Uh,
relocated.
a lot of people don't know this, but that's where the home of Michelle Williams is.
Yes, it is. She graduated from Auburn, where I graduated from.
Yeah, Destiny Child. Yes, that's Beyonce's buddy, right?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. I got family and friends there. Someone just informed me the other day that they tore the clock tower down, and
yes.
that was my landmark over there. But they're putting up what they tell me. I forgot what they told me they were putting up there.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, but yeah, yeah. But I know I got a couple of friends that are actually pastors who pastor churches in Rockford. And I told them when I come to visit them, I said that's a per diem they visit because it's so to come
Wow.
out there. Uh, it's and then I have too many Packer fans out there. I I I can't I can't. I'm a Bear fan.
Me too.
Yes. Okay. There's my mug and my coaster. And here's something else I'm going to share with you guys. Um, and some of you who've been like Denise might not know this one. She's been in my classes before, but let me pull it up. I want to show you this. Uh, let's see. I'll pull it up here. Where is it? It's close by. Come on, I got a lot of stuff on this phone, but it's not supposed to be down that low. Uh, where is that picture? Oh, here it is. Okay, on that picture, that fella with all the hair, that's me. The fella next to me, that's Walter Payton.
Yes, it is.
That's
Wow.
Sweetness. And then the lady next to him is Mary D. She
Ah,
was a television announcer on Channel 9, WGN. She did the lottery telethon parades. Well, that's my mother by adoption. She raised me from a kid. And then on that same picture, so one of my sisters, her daughter, and the infamous Jim Brown. You know, heard that name, Jim. He played football for the Cleveland Browns. And Walter Payton broke his rushing record. And the occasion on that picture was this in October of '84. Walter broke his rushing record. And my good friend Harold Washington, who was the mayor, um, he invited us to come to the press conference, and so that's why. But I knew Walter from other ways too. I went to Super Bowl. I was invited to the Super Bowl Shuffle, and all the '85 Bears were friends of mine and are friends of mine, and those that are uh, still around, and people who um, like Dan Hampton, who now he's been in trouble for driving under influence in Indiana. uh, Steve McMichael is extremely sick. He's has a club out here in the area here, but yeah, I knew Ditka. He and I kind of like were like yeah, but yeah, Sweetness was he was my well, we could be road dogs. So yeah, well, welcome,
Thank
welcome
you.
again, and we're gonna have some fun. And like I said again, so here we go. Let's let's shut your camera off and then I'm going to mute you. So, all right. Okay, let's get going here. What you should know is I'm going to first of all share my screen, and this is what I will do sometimes, and I'll put it up and you won't see it. I'll be talking and talking and talking, and then my students will say, "Professor, you didn't share your screen." So I go back and I hit this thing called share, because they changed how they do it. Now you can see it. And when I look over and I see my names of my students in class, I know it. So anyway, I'm just going to take you through the process today. You can ask questions. I will not get into the substantive material so much in week one. However, you'll learn a lot of things that will help you to be successful. And I will take time to talk about the written assignment, though, for this week. I won't leave you hanging on that, and the discussion post and things of that nature. But I familiarized everybody because I'm very tech savvy, and I learned how to do this very well. So anyway, this Blackboard thing, you have messages here, which I can click over because it just tells you who sent messages to me. And at this point, I got Juan Fernandez who says, "Good evening. I look forward to the course, Juan." And then I sent you the PowerPoint for week one. You got those PowerPoints, chapters 1 and 2 of the textbook. Those PowerPoints, by the way, I will not be lecturing off of them. They're for your studying to help you to do well in this class. And so each week I will send those to you, usually on Saturdays or Sundays. And then this is my introductory email that um, you, you, you saw that. Here it is. I gotta move that off of there. And you see the America's Most Wanted person, you know, somebody said, "Oh, I saw that picture before." I said, "Okay, you didn't see it in the post office, but no, they still had it on the wall, because I used to be on the wall at the Rockford campus and all the campuses, but they changed all of that. I used to be what they call the state program coordinator, so I traveled everywhere. And then you saw this, so that's the email that told you where you can be, but obviously you all found it here, okay? And that was my welcome email, but you will see that if you're going to send an email to me, that's you send it through course email, or you could use my regular email, or I have a personal email which I will share with you. The grade book, it's no big deal. This is not for you. This is for me, but I'll just let you know that's what this little tab is about. Um, I'm presuming that you see this. Let me see. I'm going to see if I can change this to student preview. They have what they call student preview, which means this is what you guys see. Um, so you open it up. Yeah, so you see the messages, you see gradebook, you see discuss, you see the same thing there that I do. So this is what, but yours on this side doesn't have everything that I have. Okay, so let's get exit preview so I can see what you guys see. So anyway, that's the messages, and then here's the grade book each week, and it tells me so far that in the discussion assignment, first day, 3 people have posted, and then the written assignment, of course, I expect to see nothing there, and then your live lecture, and then you go all the way down. You have all the course right there in your grade book, but you don't have to go there. But that's where, if I click on it, you'd see the grade book, but you won't see anything. I'll just click on this one. This is what I see. So this tells me that I haven't turned in anything, nobody else has. And that's how I see what people have done. and it tells me people couldn't open it up and look at it, but you don't do anything. Some people just take a look at it, and you see here. All right, so that's all of your class. It's so that's how I get the grades. And so I click on here, and then when it says nothing to grade, then I grade your assignment, and it'll show up in the rubric. All right. Now, then we get to the discussions, and each week you have discussions. Now here you have the lounge. That's where you guys can uh, post information about yourself. Let me see if anybody did. Yep, yeah, Sharice, she put her information in there, and she's the only one, but that's not unusual. A lot of students don't. And then it tells a little bit about, uh, so, and then she already told us a lot of bit about that. Um, okay, and so that's where you can post that information. But then if you go down to the bottom, there's a thing called course chat. I don't know why they split it, but they did. They did something really weird. And this is where I was talking about. If you go to this, you can see me, and it welcomes you to the class. And then that's me. That's Julia, Ann. That's Julia, Alexis. That's Richard Jr. And that's Julian Alexander. He always looks so serious. And then that's Jillian. That's my 13-year-old. She's bigger. This is an old picture. But yeah, all of these kids. Now he's 26. He'll be 27 this year. She's 22. Uh, he's 21. He'll be 22 later this year. You know how ages overlap. But he's Julian Alexander. She's Julia Alexis. So they were in the same grade in the same school. It used to be really confusing for everybody. And then everybody's got a J. Julian, Jillian, Julia, Richard Jr. His J is on his birth certificate. Jillian Richey. So and that's half of my group. So I got all 6 girls, 2 boys. All right. And then this tells you a little bit about me. Things I tell you where I graduated from. Tells you I like Robert Zemeckis movie. He did Back to the Future, Forrest Gump, and so forth. How come I really like his movies? Because he used to sit behind me when I was in high school, and we know each other from high school. And they used to call him the white nerd, and they called me the black nerd because I said I was going to be a lawyer. Well, there it is, people. When I got my law degree 44 years ago, coming up this year, and I'm still smiling. I have different glasses now. My wife called those Urkel glasses, and then this is a little bit about myself. And this is a mnemonic that I use because I do lots of public speaking, and each of these letters are tie into success in life. You don't have to be a lawyer, but it spells lawyers, but you use every one of these elements here. This tells you my email address without the 2. This tells you my personal email address, and I don't mind people getting it, so you can always go back. This is my phone, which is this phone right here in my hand. I don't use Google numbers. You can call me or text me or email me any hour of the day except 25th hour of the day. You're going to see that in a minute. That's my office number, which is, you can call it, but you won't get me because I'm not on campus anymore. And so anyway, that's what that is. All right. So then each week we will have a discussion, and we'll talk about the one for this week. Then we have a course calendar. It is one of the places where you can find your everything that you need to know. And actually these little things here, if you click on it, like this tells you about the live lecture, and it was said 7 p.m. And the reason why it says that is if you're in East, nobody in this room right now is outside the area, but I have some Florida students. I have California students and stuff like that. But it's 7 p.m. Central Standard. It's based on where I am. If you open that up, there you go. And then there is the link also, and it says we go until 8:30. And I'm going to try to go as close to that as I can. All right. But most weeks it will be 8 o'clock that we will be done. Let's go back to the calendar. And so you go back to the month view. That's my favorite view. And you can see all of the assignments. So you can see for this week, your initial post and reply post are due by Saturday, 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right. Now, your written assignments are due the 13th, which is Sunday, 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time as well. However, starting going forth after this next week, um, you will discover two things. Number one, our next lecture is Valentine's Day. I know. My wife, I already told her we'll have to do something special um, on Monday because I'll be able to take her and we'll go out early Monday. I'll beat the Valentine's Day rush. And we might even do something Sunday after church. But the live lecture will be every Monday at 7 o'clock p.m. all the way down. Your initial post, that's the second difference, will be due on every Tuesday. Every Tuesday. And then, of course, your reply post will be due on Saturdays. So, and I always do this every week. You go down and you see that the course ends on the 18th of March. That is not far away. Trust me, before you bat your eyes good, it will be there. And the course absolutely ends on the 18th. Any assignments that are not submitted by 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time, they cannot be submitted unless there's been some arrangements made for incomplete. And I give incompletes if I think you merit them. And sometimes people try to go back and do stuff that they should have done weeks before, excuse me, without any extenuating circumstances. But you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute about that. The other thing is this, and I'll say this again, assignments for week 1 to 3. When we get past week 3, we're in the second half of the course. If you have not submitted assignments for weeks 1 to 3, you won't get any points for them later, okay? And I'm going to talk about how that applies, excuse me, to discussion posts in just a few minutes. But so as I had a student the other day, we just ended last night the T1 classes. Denise was in that introduction to corrections class. That class ended at 11:59 p.m. And then at 12 o'clock, this class started, actually, as far as you having access to everything. But the point of the matter is that when it ends, it ends. And I have students that came during week 6, which, as I said, concluded yesterday, want to know if they could submit assignments from week 1. I said, no, you cannot, because, and you'll see why in a few minutes. Unless there was some bases that we had talked about. I keep hitting this. I don't mean to hit that. So let's go back to, okay, we're at content. So that's the calendar. Now, I want to come down on this side. Here you can view everyone who's in your course and get their emails as well. And if you clicked on this, I'm an instructor, but you'll be able to see my email another place. But if you clicked on this, it'll tell you to my email as well. Okay. To move this X off of here, and it tells me all about. Oh, okay. So actually, there's 20 students in this class. I thought it was 21, but that's because they got me on here twice. And so anyway, each of your names, and if I clicked on it, it would tell us, the students, your email from school, your school email. And I know several of these names from my previous class who were in corrections last term. Okay, and one of which is Denise, who's here. So that's your roster. Excuse me. And then let's go to announcements. Now, with announcements, these will be here for the whole term. You click on these, and this is to help you with APA. You should be aware and will learn about APA. It is a requirement of the school. You'll hear me talk about it all the time. It will, if you want to get good grades in this class, you gotta apply APA. And it's simple as not having citations in the body and references at the end on a reference page. And this actually gives you a guide to help you understand what it's all about. When I was in school, we did footnotes. But this APA, students say it's difficult. I wish we had it then. But it tells you with a cover page, you have a um, reference page, Romans 12, I believe it is. And so if you click on this, it opens up and it gives you a little kit. And there's all kind of stuff over here to help you out to prevent plagiarism. Um, and then the librarian is there. Whenever you go on here, it will ask you want to chat with the librarian. And the librarian is Dennis Johnson. And he's here to help you. But APA is very, very, very important. It is the way you're going to actually pass the course. You can't not pass it because it's a school requirement. And there's a reason why, and you'll see in a few minutes why. Okay. But it's so important. One of the things that you're going to discover from me is that when you cite cases, I want the official court citation to be used, and you can always find those, and I'll tell you how to find those when we come upon those. All right. Then this one here, this is adversity is the springboard to success. Take some time to look at this. This is a video about my life, and it's really, it's an hour and some minutes. You click on it, and it takes you to uh, the recording, and that's an hour and 3 minutes. And it's really a shortened version, but it tells you a little bit about me. And if you clicked on it, you can watch it. Feel free to share it. So, you know, so and it's closed caption too. Okay, I'm not going to do that, but you can look at this on your own. Look at it because you'll understand why I am the way that I am. I've been through some stuff, but I love my students because my students are what I pretty much operate for. My wife says to me, says, "You're always talking to your students." Well, you'll see why in a few minutes. So then this is the writing process we have at the school. This is just the steps that give you, and this is just a little chart for you to be aware of. Um, then we got the academic integrity video. Um, I am going to do that now. Let's do it now. And that gentleman here is actually at the Rockford campus. And that's Dean Mladic, John Mladic. He used to be the dean at the Romeoville campus where I'm from, but he is over the uh, uh, people who are tutors and things like that that help you. You have student tutors. So anyway, I'm going to take off my mic and hear this. Okay, so it'll change the speakers. Okay, I just did. So now this, I want you to take a few minutes and look at this. If you can't really get clearly what it's saying, read it's about 4 minutes long. So it tells you about academic integrity, and then you'll understand some of the things that I said about APA. So here we go.
What is academic integrity? Academic integrity is making decisions in your academic life based on honesty, trust, fairness, responsibility. This means being honest in the work you do while respecting the work. What is cheating? Cheating means distributing by any means other than some examples of cheating: asking fellow students for answers or copying answers in class. Devices or materials during the test the instructor has not approved. Purchasing papers from websites or other sources. Copying your classmates' classmate conduct and other violations as noted in the academic integrity policy that can be found in all courses. Always ask your professor if it's okay to take the test or to work together with classmates on an assignment. Now let's talk about plagiarism. Plagiarism means another individual's work without giving them credit or taking another person's work or work. Some examples of plagiarism are turning in an assignment that someone else wrote, copying words or ideas from someone else. This can be a library resource, textbook, or other material without giving the original creator credit. Failing to put quoted works in quotation marks. Using someone else's ideas in your essays, but changing a few sound like the words from. Plagiarism is not just about written words and ideas. It's possible to plagiarize images, graphs, coding, or video as well. So how can you avoid plagiarism? Cite your sources, both in the body of your paper as in-text citation and on your references page. Whenever you want to use words, images, video, or ideas that were created by another person, you should cite that person appropriately as the source of that information.
But how does academic integrity relate to the work world? Is it a college thing?
No. Integrity in the workplace starts with good practices and skills built while you are a student. Would you turn in a project document to your manager as your own when someone else wrote it? Not if you want to keep your job. Individuals can be reprimanded or even fired from their job for plagiarism. Following academic integrity guidelines while you are in school builds those skills and ethical practices that carry through to the workforce.
Okay, I understand how they're connected, but what do I do if I need more help?
If you have questions on the academic integrity policy, consult your course syllabus, talk with your instructor or dean. If you need assistance, style, or how to avoid plagiarism, contact the Rasmussen Library team through our live chat or schedule a research appointment on our library website or through the resources tab of your course. If you would like APA tutoring, schedule an appointment with one of our peer tutors on the course resources tab.
Okay. So that's the idea of AP begin to understand is to build integrity in your writing, giving credit for sources. We also have another tool called Grammarly, which you will have a Grammarly tool that will you should run your papers through Grammarly and check the little box that says plagiarism. Just a different kind of plagiarism. What that means is that if you have a high percentage, above 25%, then I will have to take away those points. So in other words, if you have 100 points and you have 30% in plagiarism, you're going to only get a 70. Um, because of the fact that you have 30% of that you copied and pasted the material. We don't want you to do that. We want you to take it, but we want to see your critical thinking. That's one of the key things. And that would balance your assignments. We'll be dealing with that throughout. And if you have any issues, do not hesitate to reach out to me. Okay, then there's this welcome announcement, which I'm just going to go over pretty fast because we still got a little bit more to do. And it tells you about me and so forth. And uh, these are things that you need to do. These are highlighted points. Be sure that you follow all of these. This reminds you of when the lecture that is taking place today, and then it tells you when lectures take place weeks 2 um, through 6. I got 2 through 5, but there's 2 through 6 every Monday. So I got to fix that one. I thought I had fixed it. But Mondays, because the only class that I know that doesn't have a week 6 lecture is corrections, but we have a week 6 lecture, okay? And you already heard me talk about the 14th. So that's your welcome announcement, okay? So I'm just bringing it to your attention so you can be aware, but you should have seen this already. All right, so now before okay, each week you'll see an announcement posted that I will be posting that tells you the topic. It tells you the chapters. Remember, I mentioned this earlier about the PowerPoints and the textbook. And then there are activities within the module. Types of law, what is crime, the Fourth Amendment, probable cause, key term for practice. And then we get all the way down to the quiz. This is not the quiz for grade. You will not be graded here in this. You'll see why in just a few. And then this tells you about the open house that's taking place now. Tells you the link, the discussion assignment, police dogs and warrantless searches. And it tells you that they will both do, as I said earlier, Saturday. And that the written assignment is due Sunday. Elements of criminal law. And then remind you again about the lecture for today. Let's start strong and finish strong. Adversity is the springboard to success. You know where that came from now, because if you look at that video, you will see it. Now, if you have any questions, you can always type in the chat and I'll see it. Or you can raise your hand. There's a little hand thing there that I could see too as well. All right, so now let's go to books and tools. The reason why I want to go here, first of all, is I want to show you, first of all, there's library resources. If you click on that, and that's where you can see that thing that you saw a few minutes ago. And you click on each of these topics, and it takes you, helps you again with Grammarly, APA, everything, transferable skills as well. There's a new student uh, uh, thing that I would always encourage students who are new to the school to take a look at. So that's the online library. And I recommend that for your research. And then you don't, this, you can't do anything with it. Anything that's highlighted, that's not a color, you can't. Syllabus, and then you have tutoring down here. But let's do the syllabus right now. All right, you already heard it referred to. This is your contract, and it tells you who your instructor is. And here's my office hours. I told you already. And it means what it says. You can text me, call me, or email me any hour of the day except the 25th hour. If you somehow manage to text me, call me, or email me the 25th hour of the day, and you tell me that, I want to know how you did that. Because I learned way back a long time ago, there was only 24 hours in a day. I don't know, but um, it's not 1 o'clock in the morning, because that's the start of a new day. 12 o'clock actually starts the new day, a.m. But notice the order, and I did this purposely. If you have an urgent matter and you want me to know, please don't send me an email. Please. Um, Text me. It'll show up on my phone. Don't worry about the cost and all that for me. Maybe you have a text issue. Call me. Most people don't these days. Or call me any hour of the day. I have students that call me real late at night. Don't worry about it. I'll get it. And don't apologize if you have to do it late at night. Some people work at nights and they are active in that, and that's when their questions come up. I'm up throughout the night for one reason or another, and I will stop and look at my phone. Even if I have to get up just to go to the washroom for a few minutes, I'll say, "Oops, let me put this one down and call the student." The very important point for me, I will talk to my students. I'm a pastor of a church on Sundays. I will talk to students after church. I will talk to people before class, after class. I can't talk to you during class and that kind of thing. This is my phone number that goes directly to my cell. And then this is the Rasmussen email. Now, here's a note I want to remind you. Please, it's not going to be in the rubric, but you got to remember this. And that's why I put it, some students, they see all caps, they say that's yelling. Well, no, I do it for emphasis. It reminds you that you're required to conduct research for all papers. That means the sole source of your papers cannot be the textbook, and it should not be the module. You'll lose 2 points for that. We want you to be researchers. That's how you learn. All ALL written assignments should be in APA format. And this is just an abbreviated thing. I'm really serious. The citations in the body, and you know why, and references at the end on a reference page. You'll also lose a point if you don't have a cover sheet. So this is very important. And students say to me all the time, well, I didn't see in the rubric that I had to have a cover page and all that. When it says APA, those are things that are in there and that we will be looking for, okay? This is, you can go through this in detail, tells you your textbook, tells you the course requirements. When I see something that I really want to focus on, I will talk about that. Oh, each week that contains a discussion forum, you're supposed to thoughtful response. Yes, no, or I agree, or good post is not sufficient. By the date posted on your course calendar that we have in there, and you saw when that is. And then you cannot post a discussion post, as you probably have discovered already, until you post your initial post. We have what we call post first, which means you have to post first before you can actually have access to what other people have. And we do that so you can create your own. Be courteous to each other. I don't have too many people who have been harsh where I've had to get on them about their posts and those kind of things, okay? All right, respect each other. You don't have to agree. I have students that don't agree with me on issues, and it's okay. It's all right. APA, this is the documentation style of the school. And what we're doing is preparing you for your professional career. and library resources page. You can find that in the resources tab. I just showed you. We're on that actually by where we find this. Your course consists of readings, discussions, practice activities, and written assignments. Each week you'll have a written assignment. Now, in this course, you will have not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six quizzes. You'll have just 2 quizzes. In week 3, you will have the quiz that involves weeks 1, 2, and 3. That's why we have those practice quizzes. And trust me, those questions pop up, and I'll be talking about those each week. Then the second part, you don't have to remember what you had to do for the first 3 weeks. So we're in the second half of the course, and that'll be in week 6. So that's the good part about this class, all right, is that you don't have quizzes every week. And then our live classroom lecture, you have to attend or give a key phrase. Um, Students who perform and get the highest grades are generally those who come to all the lectures. I think I'm speaking, just use throw out there. Denise, I think, was in all of my lectures, if not most of them, in the classes that she's had with me. It's important because you have a chance to ask questions and things of that nature. All right. So here's how it breaks down. You get 30 points, 90 points for discussions, 200 for your written assignments. I'm sorry, 200, yeah, 200 for your written assignments, and then 90 for each quiz because there's only 2. And then each week you get 5 points for your key phrase that you get, for a total of 500 points. All right. Now, I'm going to say this now. Operate on A, B. Do not call me, text me, or email me any hour of the day and ask me how to get a C in my class. I don't work like that. My goal is A and B, and you're going to learn that when we see the rubric that I operate from excellence. I teach from that, and I tell students don't even look at the other. Make sure that you use that rubric, and we'll talk about that as a way to help you. But I don't. Let me tell you why. First of all, I've been successful in life because I goofed around, okay? I grew up, but I learned fast enough that the students who get the work done, they get the top grades. You're not in this class to get an A or a B. You're not in this class to get an A or B. You shouldn't be. You should be in this class to get the knowledge and information so that you could become a professional at whatever your desire is and goal to accomplish. We Each of these courses gives you a little bit of that tool to have for when you go to actually do this. Therefore, when I grade my students, I grade you like you're professionals. You know why? Because I take the time to give you information to tell you how to get A's and B's. I tell you how to do it. I actually just throw it at you. I just don't do the assignment for you. Okay. Let's see. This is something that I do, communicating with you, respond to all course messages within 48 hours. I try to do that. The emails sometimes get lost in that system. It's crazy. But if you text me or call me, then I will respond faster than sometimes students think. All right. This is for people who need accommodations. You'll have to deal with that with your campus, but knowing it's on here. Then we have these things called transferable skills. Transferable skills are what we've identified in this school that employers have told us that they want you to be proficient in. So they want you to be proficient in, and some of these are for self-building, okay? Communication, written and oral communication. critical thinking. We want you to be able to use your good mind to be able to analyze the materials. Digital fluency. Everything is technology now. Here, some of us in here were around before it happened, and I went through college and law school without any of that, but it's the way of the world now. Our books are digital, and I like it because I remember carrying all those heavy books and stuff like that. I studied on the L train from Chicago to the South Side, because I went to school at night and Saturdays till I went to law school. Then I didn't do that. They didn't have it like that. But 7 years of undergrad, but I got it done. Diversity. We operate on the basis of the way the world really is. There are people from all backgrounds, all religious beliefs, all sexual persuasions, and we respect each other. In fact, this school focuses on that by we have what we call the Diversity and Inclusion Council, which I'm a part of that. And so we believe in that. There's been some what do they call it, rollback or whatever, people trying to take away that. No, our country is made up of people from all over the world. The only people who were in this country that were here were the Native Americans. But the rest of us, we all came different ways. And we have people who speak different languages. We have different cultures, but we need to respect them. You work in teamwork. That's an important point because you can always work in teams when you start your profession. Ethics, we've been talking about that a little earlier. Very important. You have to be ethical, especially in criminal justice. You can see what happens when you're not. Look at what happened with Derek Chauvin and some other officers. There's a whole myriad of, and I tell students, if you're an unethical student, you can possibly become an unethical professional and you can end up in the wrong situation. We had a police officer here and he's now trying to appeal his case by the name of Drew Peterson in Bolingbrook, whose wife he drowned, and then his current wife or recent wife disappeared, and Stacy, but he's in jail. He's in jail. But you don't want that to happen to you. Professional responsibility. You have requirements to follow the code and conduct and perform adequately when you are operating. Information literacy. Let me make an announcement. Never, I didn't say hardly ever, but never use Wikipedia. It is not an academic source. It can be changed because it's a word-based page. People can go and change it. We don't recognize it as a credible source. So information literacy is being able to use credible sources in your papers and in your arguments or presentations that you have. And so you'll deal with each of these issues throughout this course and other courses. And if you stop and think about it, you'll see them all pop up. Attendance policy, I won't talk about that. I will talk about the late assignment policy on here. And here's the deal. The school says you have up to 7 days to turn in your assignment for credit. However, it gives you a caveat, and that is each day that it's late, you're going to lose 10% of the grade. So let's say your assignment is due on Sunday, which is when most of your written assignments are due. And if you turn it in the same one Monday, if it was 100, it's only going to be a 90 on Monday. On Tuesday, it's going to be an 80. And each day it curves down so that by the time you get to Wednesday or Thursday, you're close to D or F. Okay? And that happens. Now, before I give you the out here on it, I want to remind you that discussion posts in the current week, which is Saturday at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you post an initial post On Sunday, you're going to get a 0. Okay? You'll lose points, of course, but you'll get a 0. I don't care how good it is. Discussion posts made after the due date will not be accepted. Well, that's like the same thing I just said. You're going to get a 0. That's not being accepted. Now, here's the deal. I'm going to tell you this. If you post your initial post by Saturday, you, with the exception of the last day of class, you will find that you will get deducted points if it's on that Saturday. And if you then do a reply post, listen to me good, on Sunday, I'll give you what we call a mulligan. I give you a break. I don't know who else does this, but I've been doing it with all of my students, and that you will get your points minus a late 1 point for lateness. This is all presuming that your post is content, has content and information in it. I don't require APA for discussion posts. Citations in the body and references at the end, I don't require that. I'm not that. You don't have to have a cover page and all that kind of stuff. But what I do want you to do is make sure that you have content oriented. You've demonstrated some critical thinking in your posts. All right. Now, back to the point. Instructors may waive, and this is where I'm getting it from right here, the late penalty in case of extenuating circumstances. I cannot do that with discussion posts, but I can do it with written assignments. In case of extenuating circumstances, I am the one who decides that. That's why I said, let me know. I didn't want to bother you, Professor. Well, then it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So now you know why I said earlier, if you get to week 5, you can't turn in assignments from way back then to try to earn points for some points. But if I follow the process that the school says, and because I don't know of any extenuating circumstances that put you there, and not like I had to work extra hours or I got distracted, I'm sorry, I can't do that because it's developing a habit that you really don't need, especially in criminal justice. You don't need to be distracted. You need to be focused on doing what you do all the time, because it can create litigation, jail, and all other kind of problems for you. But the point of the matter is that I'm very liberal with my students, but I gotta know. That's why I suggest texting me or calling me. You know, it doesn't bother me how many times you have to do it. All right, don't worry about this last stuff. We don't deal with this. Okay. Now, this I already told you, the last one. You can't submit assignments. Now, here's the incomplete grade policy. You read this yourself, but this is something that you can do if you run into a problem, but not, I have students that want to do an incomplete and they haven't done anything in the first half of the course, but they want to do everything on the last week or last 2 weeks. I say, no, we're not a cramming course. We want you to get the information as it comes along. We know people have life that happens, but let me know. We can work this out. Here's your academic integrity policy. You read that yourself. All right. You can find yourself in deep water, hot water that you don't want to be in. All right. Let's see. We are at time, but hang in there with me for a few minutes because there's a few things that I want to make sure that you got. Let's see, I think you got everything out of here. Over here. Yeah, you got the library resource, and then here's if you need tutoring. All right. So those are the techniques. Now, uh, week 1. All right, give me a few minutes to do this and we'll wrap up. Okay, the discussion assignment. Let's talk about that for a few minutes. Okay. The discussion assignment, you use this fact pattern, and then for your initial post, you're going to deal with these 2 bullet points. And then for your reply post, you respond to another student's information. Now, for tips, you can go to the guides at Rasmussen Criminal Justice. They have one for criminal justice now. If you click on this, you'll see what I'm talking about. There, it takes you. This is the School of Justice Studies. This is designed just for you guys in the School of Justice Studies, and it deals with every area, finding statutes, cases, grammar, all kinds of cool things like that. And then it tells you in certain courses, this is Introduction to Criminal Law resources. That's where we are right here. All right. And it talks about various topics. So that can help you as well. All right. So then you submit your discussion post. I see a few people have, and then I will respond to several during the course of the week. Any questions about the discussion post? If you have questions, say what those questions are. If you don't, you can say no, or you can say nothing. One or the other. That means to me that you know I'm going to keep going. All right. So this is not like $1 million final answer. No, you can reach me later if you need to. Some people are very shy about it. Don't be shy. You know what wrong answers do? Help somebody. Help you first, and then sometimes help me as a professor. So don't be afraid to do that. Okay, step out there. I'm not a, we're gonna be good. So now let's do the written assignment. The written assignment. Now listen to me, please, 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 please. I would do you a disservice if I didn't take the time to break this down each week. I will. Now, there is. Oh wow, I've got to put the rubric in here. I haven't put the rubric in here, but I will put the rubric in here. That I thought I had. There's one of the classes that I still have to transfer it, and this is one of them. So I'll have to do that. But here's the deal, just to help you. Each scenario should be at least 1 page. Okay, at least 1 page, and double spaced, and it should be APA. You don't have to have a reference page for each scenario. You just have one. But it says here, a minimum of 3 pages, not counting the reference page. Okay? And you're going to complete the scenario. Be sure that what you do is caption it, and then I'll know. And then as I read through it, citations to support your position. That'll be from the research that you do. And then your scenario, number 2, then 3. To complete this assignment, address the following for each scenario. Here it is. What laws have been committed? Okay. Locate an example of the criminal law from your state. Identify and explain the elements of the crime or crimes that have been committed in each scenario. Don't just copy and paste the text from the statutes, but explain it. Prepare your assignment using APA. I already said that. You must include, we already talked about this, I have to keep going over it, proper citations in the source, okay, and then a reference page. And then you can, like I said, use this guides to help you. It must be in Word document, not any other way, unless the assignment does, but it's got to be a Word document. All right. And again, I have to put the rubric in, but the rubric in this class pretty much follows the same as this. I will put that in there tonight and you will see it. Okay. Now, any questions about the written assignment that you have at this point? Yes, the answer is yes. Yeah, I'm glad that's a good question. Every lecture is, as this is being recorded right now. And what I do is I take the lecture and then I convert it from WebEx into a YouTube, just like the one you saw about adversity springboard to success. I send you the link and then in the form of an email, and you will have that, and then it also shows up in the course as well. You'll see that in a few minutes. But yeah, that's a very good question. Because of the fact that we know sometimes people can't make it and can't stay, then we make sure that you get that information. But do take the time not just to look at the lecture, just to get the key phrase or the key word. But that's an excellent question. Okay. Yes. Anything else? Looks like nothing else. Okay. But that was excellent. That was a very good question. Okay. All right. You're welcome. All right. So now I feel real bad that I didn't put the rubric in there, but my God, I forgot. They put them in all the courses, but they haven't caught up with criminal law. I'm gonna have to yell at them about that one. So anyway, moving down here, here's what you will see to answer your question too. Live classroom recording. Right now, this tells you how to get to the lecture. What I will be doing after this is over is taking this out, and I will be putting the link to the YouTube video. And you can use that or the email that I'm going to send you tonight that tells you the link to get to for it. And you'll have it throughout, I mean, the whole course, because it'll be in here until the course is over. Well, it'll be in there too, even after that. And you can go back and you can see it. Okay. So this will be taken out, and that's where you will find that. Okay. But that's the tab that you find it under. And then your live classroom phrase or word is going to be found here. You're going to type it in for your points. And 3 of you are here tonight. You'll have an advantage. You can complete your first assignment tonight by just giving me that when I give it to you, which will be coming up in a few. Now, generally what I will do each week is I will go over these issues. But like I said again, the first week, I don't spend time going over this. I will peruse this type of stuff and explain it. You can go through it. It's pretty straightforward. It's not a lot of information, and it explains to you the different kind of law, from criminal law to civil law. And then it says what is a crime, and it explains. Incidentally, I'll just tell you this: crimes are misdemeanors or felonies. The way that you know if something is a misdemeanor, and it tells you right here, any offense that is punishable by a fine and or less than a year. These are less serious offenses, and they're less severe. All right. And these are just some examples. Felonies, if it goes more than a year, then that's when you get into felonies. So you can always remember this. Infractions, just traffic stuff and things like that. Okay, traffic citations. Jail versus prison. If you take the Introduction to Correction course, you will learn that jails are for short term and a temporary holding. Prison is for most serious offenders. And so when you talk about probation, you're talking about people who went to jail. If you're talking about parole, then you're talking about people who went to prison. Some jurisdictions don't have that term parole. We have mandatory supervised release in Illinois now, but it's the same basic thing. Okay. And I'll be talking about the details of law during the course of this. The Fourth Amendment probable cause, first, that involves search and seizure. And you're going to take a look at this. Um, Probable cause is the level that is necessary to arrest somebody. You can't arrest somebody unless you establish probable cause. And as it says, it's not one definition, but you look at the court cases, um, and and then you deal with the other standard, and that's called reasonable suspicion. That's what we call a stop and frisk or a Terry stop, named after this case, where the purpose of this is to um, protect the officer pretty much. You can't really go in their pockets unless there is a reason that's determined. And this gives you an example of that. The Fourth Amendment is dealing with search and seizure. And then you can actually see this is what it says here. All right. Sometimes they have these things here, and let me see if it's available to be downloaded. You can look at it. Let's see. Let's see if it opens up. All right, I think this one does. So you can click on that, and it will show you about what the Fourth Amendment is. As soon as it opens up, processing, and then this just tells you a little short thing about the Fourth Amendment and how it works there. Okay. And then plain view. These are some exceptions to obtaining a warrant. Plain view. It means what it says. It means if the evidence is easily be able to be seen by the police, and consent means the person has granted consent voluntarily and knowingly. Okay, and then there's some sample consent forms, Chicago Police Department form. Automobile exception, I won't go into that in detail. We will be talking about this as we go through the course. Search incident to an arrest, we'll talk about that as well. So these are just some bits of information that normally I would lecture on. Okay, now, listen to me, please. Key terms. You need to learn these because they're going to be valuable for you to know when you take the quiz. All right, and you learn these. Now, when you take the quiz itself, it's closed book. So when you take the practice, and then this is cool what they did here, these last three things. Practice the elements. Now, here we go. Start the activity. This is really cool. Click the element below. Okay. It says click the element below that is not an element of armed robbery. You may not know that yet, but you will learn that as we go through lectures. And so one of these is not. You got to make sure that that's how these quizzes are. You have to be careful. That one word could change your answer. One of these is not a part of the element of armed robbery. Now, which one do you think is not, just based on what you might know now? A, B, C, or D? Okay. Okay, let's check it. Let's submit it. Survey says you are right. Armed robbery is the intentional taking of property from another with force or threat. Armed robbery doesn't typically involve entering the dwelling of another. What do we call that when you enter the dwelling of another, generally? Starts with a B. Well, nope. That could be that too, but what's a one-word crime? First three letters sound like a sandwich. But you can get at McDonald's, Wendy's, one of those. Burglary.
Burglary.
So I said it sounds like a sandwich. A bird. Okay. I told you I says I'll throw some things at you, but I'll try to guide you. Okay, so that's good. So
Burglary.
then identify the elements of simple battery. It's okay. This is where you're learning. Remember, you're learning here so that when you do take the quiz in week 3, identify the elements of simple battery by selecting the correct answer for each pair. So element 1, which one of these? Intentionally or accidentally?
Intentionally.
There you go. Causes bodily harm or threatens bodily harm. Yeah. Threatens bodily harm is called assault. Even though you'll hear somebody say assault and battery, I'll talk about that later on in the course. I'll help you with that one. Then the third element of it is to property or to another. Can, can you commit battery on property? No. Unless you do it on a dog or something like that, an animal or something, of another. With their consent or without their consent?
So,
You already know, so without. So then you click, and if you get any of these wrong, it's going to tell you. So you got it. So you see how these things are things that will help you. All right. So again, I know I'm going a little longer, but I'm doing this so that you can say, "Oh wow, okay, I see one way of getting ready. This is another way to study the material." And then classifications of crime. Same thing. Match the type of crime with the proper classification. Now, driving without a seatbelt fastened, which one is it? Misdemeanor, felony, or infraction? Yep. I'm gonna show you something funny. Put it down here. Let's say, okay, if you wanted to put felony with it, it'll hook up, but you could get it wrong. But the answer is yes. It's an infraction. Come on, hook on there, buddy. There you go. Damage to property with a 30-day sentence, I already told you, it's a misdemeanor. And then 18 months because that's over a year, and that's a felony. So you hit submit, bam. Real cool. Okay, these are 5 questions. And then listen, I can't overstate this last thing. Then we're done. I cannot overstate it. These questions will show up during week 3. Week 3. Okay? And it's closed book. What are codified misdemeanors known as? What are felonies known as? What do we call them? A, B, C, or D? What's the name of this course?
criminal law.
Okay, that's what it is. You have to laugh when you say it because, oh, my, okay. I'm trying to tell you, don't overthink yourselves because this will come up on the test. The Fourth Amendment is an example of what type of law? Where does it come from? What, where? A, B, C, or D? You say civil law. The Constitution,
No.
the Fourth Amendment, search and seizure. It's a constitutional law. It's an example of constitutional law. Okay? No problem with getting it wrong. That's okay. You're not losing points today, and you don't look bad. You're just learning. That's all. Get all of that. I don't skate because I know what'll happen when I skate. I'm standing on my butt or face breaking something. So I stay off of stuff like that. In other words, it's no problem. But they said, dust yourself off and get up. No, Richard. Last time I put on skates, I said, God, if you let me get off of this skating floor, I will never do it again. And I've kept my word. Um, Burglary is an example of a blank that subjects the offender. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. So you see what I mean? You see, that's how the test is going to be. I'm telling you. What level of proof is necessary to make an arrest? Come on, everybody. You know it. You know it. Is it A, B, C, or D? Come on. You know it. It's A. There you go. Probable cause. So after a while, you be saying, oh, Professor Wright, this is just so easy. Yeah, you just wait till you take the test. Okay, you just get it right then. So anyway, that I'm probably I went a little longer, but I had to because we had the introductions. I added that into the course, and I wanted to make sure that you got it. And like I said again, I'll go back and I'll get the rubrics in, and you'll have it. But uh, I already kind of broke the rubric down by what I did a few minutes ago. It's a different kind of rubric in this class than you'll see in other classes too, because I had to create my own rubrics. So, any questions? Okay. I always like to have my students to have an opportunity. Please. I always like to have my students to take a shot at what they think the key phrase is for the day. See what you think, because I already know which one I'm going to give you. Anybody know? No. It's a guess. Anybody else? Close, close, close. Let me back up to Denise. There it is. She got an advantage. Not because that was the phrase, but you have to remember this, and this is what I'm going to tell you. The topic that I talk about that really is the predominant topic for the week, even though the whole course is this, but for the introductory week, I like to use this. Now, I have students that took the course again afterwards, and they say, oh, that's the same one. Yeah, okay, whatever. I used to use that verse as a springboard to success, but tonight it is what Denise said because it's exactly right. And you'll pick up on me after a while. I'm not that complicated. Criminal law. Give me criminal law and put it in that box, and you can do it tonight before you leave, and you have your points. Well, that's it. Again, I apologize. I went about 25 minutes over, but that's because we had the introductions. If I didn't have that in there, we would have been in good shape. But I wanted to do that because I incorporated that because I want you guys to get to know who your classmates are, and if possible, to see each other. I think everybody who's been in here tonight, you saw them. So, and I'm accustomed to being the only male in the room because I have 8 sisters and no brothers, 6 daughters and 2 sons. So now I live in a house where there's my wife and daughter. The other one that doesn't live here anymore. So it's 2 and 2. No, actually it's 3 of us. It's 2 boys and it's oh, that's a good one. Thank you, Denise. Um, you only have to reply. Okay, your initial post is required, and then 1 reply post. However, I do like uh, um, other reply posts because what they do is you can reply to other students. Is that it makes the conversation more interestingly for everybody. So I let you know in my grading, and you'll see my comments. Denise knows what the comments are because she's seen it a lot, you know. And you get good grades, it'll say the same thing over and over. You know, one student said to me, "Why don't you tell me something different?" I said, "Okay, submit a post that's not so good, then you'll see a different comment. I don't think you'll like it, but you know what I'm saying." So that's a good question. Um, but I do like more than 1 reply, but it's not required. It's encouraged. Thank you, Denise. Anybody else? Okay, well, if not, then I'll see you Monday. Remember, Monday, 7 o'clock, and we'll get out 8 o'clock. We're pretty prompt with this course getting out after this. So I'm going to say good night to you guys. Again, welcome to Introduction to Criminal Law. I hope that what I've given you, thank you. I look forward to seeing it. I have the, and I will tell you this, that if you want to connect with me on Facebook, I'm Richard Wright JD, and I have a lot of students that are I keep in touch with. I write letters of recommendation for, and you know they learn different things as well. And then you learn a lot of stuff about me as well. It's a public thing. A lot of people private with theirs, but I'm not. I want the public to see who I am. And the JD stands for Juris Doctor, my law degree. And I'm on LinkedIn as well. And I also do a radio show on WVTC radio, WVTC radio network. You can go to the App Store and download the app for WVTC, and or you can go to the Play Store, which I'm in that one. I'm an Android person, and you'll be able to listen to, and you can actually hear the recordings. There's some recordings as well, which I also post on Facebook, and then you learn about that as well. So every Saturday at 5 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, and that's what that little green thing in the back is. I got to get a bigger one. It's a green screen, so you see a brick background in there. Okay, good night, guys. See you Monday. Um, don't let don't let this be the first time you show and say, "I'm not staying." He went way over. Yeah, well, I went over because I wanted you all to meet each other. So, all right, don't hold that against me. Sometimes you just have to do what you got to do. All right, stay safe. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you then. Good night.